All right, I got it together.
Week. Again, guys, welcome to the couch where your mental health matters. This is your host, Damion. I got my girl, Damion and Jackie, on the other side of me.
That's exactly what I just said.
Every week, but it's different when it comes from my voice. It's the silkiness, the social, all that good stuff.
If you're silky, what am I?
Cardboard.
Oh. No. First of all, our viewers have often told me I have the voice of a reporter. Thank you, viewers.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
Well, I think it's a compliment. I think it's a compliment.
But anyway, you guys. Okay. Anyway, carry on. We do have a special guest in the building. She's part of our couch family.
She's our always family.
Yeah, she's always promoted us for sure. Definitely, I'm glad to finally have her after 3 seasons.
Finally.
But we ain't gonna go there quite yet. We'll catch that off camera. But again, you guys, welcome Miss Chimere Neal. Oh, that, yes. There you go. LCSW in the building. Okay. But yeah, we'll keep.
Are you hating?
No, okay. No. We're all in the same field, so it's all love here. It's all.
We're
love.
The best. Sorry. LCSW rocks.
Okay, so Chimere is the first social worker that we've had on here.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think we've had a social worker. Have we ever announced that or said that? Have you ever done a social worker show without me? I don't think so. You've had somebody from...
I did have an LCSW, Dr. Harris.
Okay, Dr. Harris. So
yes,
Chimere is the second social worker that we've had on here. Yes. Okay, so
what's up, Shay?
And Damion does that. What's up, sis? What's up, honey bee? Who else from my home? Orangeburg.
Of course, Orangeburg. Represent every day, all day.
So can we start off talking about the kind of weeks that we're having?
Yes, we're going to do our weekly mental health check-in with each other before we get our show started. It's going to be fun, exciting. But I wanted to kind of start first. My week so far, this is really truly like a hump day for me.
Okay.
I'm kind of excited, for upcoming events coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm kind of done with the week.
Okay. You're done with the week? You're tapped out?
Yeah, I'm just done.
Do you have more clients to see, though?
Of course.
Okay, are you going to become undone when it is time to see?
I just have to practice some self-care techniques.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely.
First step is
but for right now, at 4:48, yeah, I'm done for the week.
Our balance is a little off. Chimere, can you scoot a little bit so I can get more of my shoulders?
She's trying to...
Well, our balance is off. Damion was in there. Okay, so now we have equal parts, Damion and I. Okay. Go ahead, Dame.
But that was it. I mean, I feel good, but I'm just done.
Okay. Chimere?
My week has been going pretty much okay. I have a lot of paperwork to do, but other than that, we know as therapists how that is.
Right.
If I can get through this week and the weekend, I have some events, so I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
You have some events? What kind of events?
I do. Well, I'm going to be a part of the Italian Festival in Fort Mill, South Carolina, so I'm excited about that.
What are you going to be doing at the Italian Festival, Chimere?
I'm going to be vendoring at the Italian Festival, so come on out.
What type of vendoring?
I'm going to be doing some kids painting there.
Okay.
Think and Paint with my company Think and Paint in Fort Mill, South Carolina at the Italian Festival.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get to.
Come on out. It's all day, Friday and Saturday.
We'll make sure we get the event information so we can post it.
Yes.
In the coach, in the couch. I said coach.
Also, Saturday is the mental health gala.
Yes, we have the mental health awareness walk through Eustress. They have that. I think it's from 9 to 12. So come on out. I think they're starting at MLK Middle. I think that's Uptown, if I'm not mistaken. So come on out. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. So every week, and I think there's just events going on throughout the entire month. But that's definitely one that I'll definitely be attending. Saturday
I'll be
morning.
there too.
Saturday morning, Saturday evening is the grand finale, the Mental Health Gala, where yours truly has been nominated.
Yes.
So hopefully
I
I'll
love the way
see
you
that.
slid yours truly in there so quick. I had to look up
Yes.
Okay.
Truly.
Congratulations.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate it. And again, that's thanks to the couch and everybody that's been involved with the couch for sure. So it's definitely not a Damion award. It's our nomination. I'm speaking things into existence.
Okay.
Check that, Rayshawn. I'm speaking into existence.
Well,
Eustress, everybody. Check me.
I haven't been nominated, but I nominate my dress that I'll be wearing to steal some show. I am excited. You know, I don't dress up to go to my office to go to work every day. Yeah, so as therapists, a lot of therapists, this is
me.
The way you dress. And well, I know Chimere she gets herself a little more, you know, dressed than us, more professional. And I think that's wonderful. But right. I don't wear off the shoulder to work, but I do wear jeans. So I'm kind of looking forward to dressing up and looking nice. Oh, girls like to dress up, every now and then. So I'm looking forward to
it's going to be popping. It's going to be popping. I'm going to be on my James Bond type look.
You did say that 2 weeks ago. Damion is looking forward to stepping out and stepping into something. I am looking forward to seeing that. Dame?
Being kind of sexy.
That is my newsroom voice. Okay. Okay. So anyway, all right. So what are we getting into today?
So again, guys, before we get into it, definitely like and share this live feed video. Of course, it'll be broadcasted next Sunday on Power 104.4 FM. Of course, if you miss any of this, it'll be up for a short time, and then I'll take it down because I'm just like that. I'm sorry.
We are a we. Not
I'm
an
sorry.
I.
It's just because I'm thinking.
Okay. Wow.
But it's okay. You can take it down.
That's okay.
That's
okay. I'm just saying, hypothetically, we should discuss it as a we. Dame, this is a union of sorts.
Dysfunctional union, but yes.
He works for us. Next, Dame.
This is where we at today. Like, you guys, it's going to be informative, but we're cracking jokes and we're cracking on each other, and I love it. It's all good. We're going to keep it moving. But of course, again, we got Miss Chimere Neal in the building, so we're going to kind of start it off. Before we get into her a little bit, we're going to do our mental health trending topics, aka Damion and Jackie, aka Wendy Williams. She has all the hot stuff that's coming out.
I love the comparison.
Yes.
I love Wendy Williams, by the way. Okay, so I need to get a mug made for myself. I guess us.
No, it's yours.
Okay, great. I can get a mug for myself.
I don't need it.
You bring your flask. Did you see that episode where he brought his flask? Okay, the trending topic. Okay, so we want to talk about. I want to talk about the idea of watching television. What's too much television with kids? I want to know opinions coming down the line and why. What do you think? Your kids, you have small kids. So how much television do you allow your kids to watch daily? And then honestly, do you try to restrict the amount that they watch?
It's normally anywhere between 2 to 3 hours a day. And it's normally around, breakfast time. It just depends on the day. But normally on weekends, they wake up, and they watching cartoons with their cereal or their breakfast or whatever. So that's like an hour. And then we go do our thing, and then they come back and they watch some SpongeBob or some Peppa Pig or something like that.
What that means.
But does it count?
Hold on. What are their ages, sir? Their ages count. What are their ages, sir?
8 and 2.
You have 1 under 3, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, basically, and 8. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell that later. I'll tell that later after we're done. Chimere?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think TV time is important, but you should have limitations on the TV time.
Right.
Because you still have a routine, chores, homework, all of those things.
Right.
So my mom didn't have limits on me, but I definitely think with my kids I'm going to have limitations.
Okay, so what do you think is going to be reasonable, and what would you tell somebody, a parent coming to your practice saying, I don't know if this is affecting my child's behavior, how much TV should the 5-year-old be watching daily?
Daily? It depends on their routine and their schedule, but I would say no more than 2 hours per day.
Okay. Okay, so we said a 5-year-old, no more than 2 hours. Okay, yeah. I'm adding this all up because I've looked up the statistics, but let me share what I do. So based on things that I have found out about amount of TV time that increases ADHD and focus issues in kids, I try to keep my son to 1 hour a day. So before school, we never used to watch TV, right? Because I found that he was forgetting important things he needed to do on random days, and I wanted to reduce all that by him focusing his brain, almost like it's meditation time during breakfast, where he just sits there in silence. There are some mornings where obviously I let up, or your kid is nagging you and you're trying to get out for work, and I say, okay, you've done everything you need to do, you can watch a little TV. That's about a 20-minute period of time, and when he gets home, I wouldn't let him watch more than 30. He gets to watch 30 minutes when he comes home because it's wind down time. So I don't have him just start on homework. It's not homework then TV. When he comes home, he's been working all day. So I want him to chill out, bounce on the couch, whatever he wants to do while watching a few minutes. So he gets 30 when he comes home, so that's about 50. And then if we do something after dinner, maybe 20. So about an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's the cap. So, but the research that I had known about was more so the more than 2 hours a day, basically, in kids under 10 years old. It leads to more attention deficit issues, issues with focus, and sustainability. So there's that. But they say that babies and toddlers should watch none, preschoolers no more than 1 hour, and then kids and teens 5 to 18 should have limits, but they won't say how many hours.
Okay.
It's also, well, I'm wondering also, do you let your kids watch certain type of shows versus others? And do you make them refrain from watching specific shows, and what are those shows? That's what I want to know.
It's normally repetitive. It's like SpongeBob, Peppa Pig.
That you don't let them watch?
No, that I let them watch.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The comments of Damion Harmon are those of Damion Harmon alone. I am not a SpongeBob.
You know, Alvin and Chipmunks, you know, things like that.
Okay.
A little bit of educational stuff here and there, but you know, I'm dad, so it's kind of like, hey, let's have some fun. But that's only after you finish your homework, though. And my daughter, I mean, she's 3, almost 3, so.
You know, SpongeBob has a lot of sexual connotation in it and a lot of adult content. Did you know that? Because I didn't until I watched a few episodes, and then I was like, oh, you can't watch SpongeBob no more. And my son's 10.
And see, the thing is, most of the time, they're in my presence. Like, I don't leave them in the room by themselves because they're still smaller. So I'm usually doing something beside them. You know, I'm on the computer, you know, handling business or whatever. But for the most part, I'm right there.
So do you think that that makes a difference that you're there?
Absolutely.
With what they're absorbing? How so?
Absolutely.
I want to know. I want you to share.
They know when certain things are like a little bit off.
Okay, so your thing is more, because we have a difference of opinion, so I don't even want my son hearing it. So that's why I cut it off. So you're saying they can hear it if I'm in the room? Okay, interesting.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I understand research and all of those things, but for in most instances, in my case, it doesn't really influence their behavior because it may be on, but it's not like they're just sitting there like this right here. Most of the time, they're multitasking. They probably got a toy, probably got a coloring book.
So SpongeBob's in the background.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much almost all the time.
You've seen SpongeBob.
I have.
What do you think about SpongeBob?
I think at times it can be inappropriate. I don't know if I would let my child watch that, depending on their age. If they're older in the teens, maybe they would be able to get it and understand, but definitely not kids.
Okay, all right. Sorry. Difference of opinion.
No need to apologize.
You know, as a segue, I want to know about violence and whether any parents have asked you coming into your practices about how much violence or what kind of things they should keep their kids from watching on TV, because there are statistics also that I have with anxiety, and apparently children that grow up, whether it's playing violent games or seeing violence on television, are more likely to have anxiety disorders and to be fearful of the community and what's out in the world, right? Like, oh, somebody may rob me, somebody may do this, somebody may do that. Those type of fears which build anxiety disorders.
Right.
And so they're saying that it has been found that these children are way more likely to become aggressive or fearful of things.
I think it's a lot of, when you're looking at cultural background, those numbers can be skewed a little bit.
Meaning what? Share it. What
meaning because most of our kids may play Grand Theft Auto. What's the new one that everybody plays?
That damn. Oh my god. What's it called?
I can't think of the name.
That damn.
Oh.
Somebody specifically inboxed me.
So somebody please tell me what's the video game?
What's that game that kids are playing and it's violent? Fortnite?
Yes.
Fortnite.
Yes.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Howard. I don't want to offend people.
I don't see as far as when it comes to us, Black and brown communities, I don't see a huge effect of video games and how it influences their behavior, if that makes any sense. But I do see where the difference is whether you allow video games and television to raise your children. There's a huge difference between, okay, they're watching television, but you're you're there and you're guiding them, and you're still having conversations about certain things that they're seeing, because you can't just block everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because that'll make them grow up being naive, and I don't want my children to be naive. I want them to be aware of what's going on. So some things they're going to actually experience and see or hear, and then we talk about it. Like, what did you feel when you saw this, or what did you gather from this particular situation on this cartoon or this video game or whatever the case may be. So it truly just depends on your parenting style and technique. Like, if you just leave them there and they're just in their room all day, every day, and that's what they do, then of course they're going to be consumed with that.
I had to take Charlie Brown off the roster because my son was obsessed when he was younger. And I didn't realize how inappropriate Charlie Brown is for little kids. That shit will give you depressive disorder watching one episode. Let me tell you something. That Lucy and that Charlie Brown. Oh, you're so stupid, Charlie Brown. You're so stupid. And so it didn't occur to me. You're watching Charlie Brown Christmas, Pumpkin Patch, Charlie Brown, and then Happy Valentine's Day, Charlie Brown, all that, Run for Mayor, Charlie Brown, all those. I've seen all those because my kid has been obsessed. Well, no, he's been obsessed for years. So you've got those episodes, I'm very passionate about this, where Lucy's in the box and she's created a therapist box, right? And she's charging people 5 cents, and it says psychiatrist. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You'll see it in the newspapers and stuff. It's always the cartoon drawn up, and she's sitting in the therapist box, and it says psychiatrist 5 cents, and somebody comes and says, I'm doing this, what's my problem? And she's like, you're just a loser, Charlie Brown. And I'm like, he can't watch this anymore. Because my son was repeating some of the things. And so, of course, I'm using that to teach, right? Are these nice things to say? Do you want to be friends with somebody who talks to you like that? Of course. Right. But I also felt after a certain point in time, he thought it was too hysterical. Like that name calling and you're so stupid and all. I mean, I just don't want him to hear it over and over and over again. But yeah, I had to knock Charlie Brown off.
You do utilize them as teaching points, definitely, which means that you're there to witness these things, which makes it a whole lot easier to say, okay, this is not how we interact, or this is not how we behave, and this is television. So some kids and teens and adults live in a fantasy world on their computer or a video game or whatever the case may be.
Well, once my son was 4 years old in Trader Joe's calling me a blockhead, I said, oh, holy.
What?
We gotta yeah, he was 4. He was just yelling out what he heard from Charlie Brown. So he goes, you blockhead! And when I found myself wanting to do something, somebody's gonna go to yourself. Yes, I
you can have a thought.
Can you imagine? And then my immediate thought was, I have exposed him to this language. He was 4. He doesn't know that well. I have to teach him in a moment where I'm not grabbing him and shaking him in front of strangers. Right. But I turned into that mom, was like, shut up, don't be saying that out loud. It was just, I couldn't strike him in public. He didn't understand the, enormous,
right. So
the effects of what he was doing.
The ignorance of it, it's okay.
Yeah,
that's a teaching moment. Yeah.
Almost knocked his block off.
Please don't.
Yeah, I'm keeping it real. So anyway, all right. So what are we getting into as far as the major topic? Nature versus nurture.
Let's introduce our guest, because we haven't given
background. Let's talk about that.
See, that's the importance of.
Let's talk.
But we're not even gonna go there. So again, you guys, we have Miss Chimere Neal in the building. She is a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm gonna allow Miss Chimere to kind of give us a little bit of background of herself. What led you to come into this particular field? What's your interests, what's your specialties, your niches, and things like that.
Okay, so again, I'm Miss Chimere Neal. I'm at LCSW. I am the owner of Neal Counseling Services, and I've been in practice since 2009. I see kids, adolescents, and adults of all ages, and I provide outpatient, individual, group, all that stuff, along with some art therapy. So that's what I'm currently doing right now.
So, art therapy, could you explain to the family, to the people out there, what is art therapy?
So I incorporate aspects of art into the therapy. So I teach them about the color wheel, how to identify their feelings and attach them to a color, for an example. Using crafts about touching texture, feelings, touching texture, how you feel. Just kind of even crafts as far as drawing and writing. For example, if you have a kid who has been traumatized or domestic violence, they don't like to talk about it. So sometimes I incorporate art to say, hey, what are you feeling? Let's draw it. Then let's have a conversation. Because it's on paper, I can ask questions and then go into more detail about it.
So are there particular populations or diagnosis that you would utilize this type of therapy with?
So for example, like I said, trauma. I think anxiety can also be one of those diagnoses that can go along with art therapy, because you are, being expressive, you're talking about your feelings. You are also using art as a coping skill, whether you're coloring, using paint, markers, things of that nature. Also with things like ADHD, if you have problems with concentrating, it's kind of teaching you how to focus on that one thing and hopefully increasing your ability to kind of focus and use that in other areas of your life.
Possibly.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, can you tell us more, because you mentioned the company, so can you talk more about the company that you started revolving around art therapy and what that entails and what type of services you offer with the company?
Right. So I started off in counseling, of course. I've been doing that since 2009 through Neal Counseling Services. But through that, I started incorporating the art portion, and then I started venturing out to other things as far as using art through canvas dolls and a company called Think and Paint, where it is not catered toward art therapy. It's more of a recreational or social. He's a hater.
That's okay.
He's a supporter.
It was a different thought.
Oh, okay.
There's no knock on it.
Okay.
You want a shirt? Is that what it is?
Okay.
I got you.
All right.
But those two companies I use more for social.
You could be a Ken doll.
Kindle.
Right.
Canvas.
More social.
Canvas. Sorry.
That'll work.
Canvas. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Go ahead.
So I use those two companies for more of a recreational or a social type of thing, but Neal Counseling is where we do the art therapy piece. So I'm able to do individual and group.
So would you say Canvas Dolls is semi art group therapy?
No.
Almost? Or is it more so like for adults? Would you say? What is more so for adults?
It is.
Okay,
so Canvas Dolls is for adults, and then Think and Paint is for kids.
Okay.
So that's more about social and recreational things.
Okay.
And then Neal Counseling is basically using art therapy in a therapeutic type of setting.
Right.
So the emphasis is that she is a licensed social worker who does outpatient therapy and sees private clients. However, on the side, she has a company where she organizes events around children designed to increase emotional and social awareness. Is this not correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thought I would just...
So some of the benefits that I read, of course, with art therapy and reduction of symptoms is that some people utilize it for, and just normally just utilizing art, not even say art therapy, but just art in general, drawing, painting, whatever, is utilized in so many different aspects, whether that's as a meditation piece,
absolutely,
relaxation, calming, like you said, just the expression of feelings, whether that's coping skills, anger, anxiety, depressive thoughts, whatever the case may be. But I saw like it definitely has its benefits. I don't know of any cons. I don't know of any negatives of utilizing art therapy in therapy.
I don't think that there's too many cons out there that you can find about art therapy, because there's no age limit. There's no educational thing that you have to meet in order to participate in art therapy. It could be used from anywhere from depression and stress, problems with adjustment, anything basically you can use with art, just the way of it as expression.
And I also read that it helps, especially with children and adults, to improve concentration and focus.
Absolutely.
As well.
You should see some of the kids, like they have their mouth open or they're standing up. I love to see kids when they stand up because that tells me that they're really getting into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do conjoint sessions with the mom and the child, and the mom is like trying to talk to the kid and the kid is not hearing anything. They're just focusing on that canvas or that activity.
So I read something about it improving self-esteem. How is that so with utilizing art as the treatment modality? How does that help improve their self-esteem?
I would say it would depend on the client, but for example, your self-esteem can be heightened through art therapy. If you are dealing with a lot of emotions that you're not willing to talk about, if you're dealing with bullying or issues with anxiety, or you are a child that's kind of isolated, you are challenging them to express themselves through the activity, and in turn it gives them encouragement and motivation to do it in other places. So we can do it in the therapy office, but what about outside? So that's what I do. I encourage them to take these tools and not only to use them here, but to use them outside.
Do you use art therapy with some of your kid clients? No. Okay, I do.
I do as far as like just different worksheets, but to that extent, no, because I know what my niche is, and my forte is.
I don't get into it the way she does, but I have them draw pictures when I see they have an attitude when they're first coming in. I'm not trying to talk to them about home and feelings and all that. I'm not doing that. I'm asking them to draw out certain things, and they will do it. When I ask them to draw a picture of their family and they show a dragon eating their mother, then we can talk about that. So that's really the extent. I don't get into a whole lot of other deep stuff with the painting and drawing with the children, but they show me enough with just penciling things. They will show you in a moment who they like in their family and who they don't.
Right.
So if your child is drawing you the dragon eating your head, talk about something that day. Talk about it.
Or like if they draw like everybody's in the house is dead,
and
they're the only ones that are alive, and they're holding like a knife or something like that, or they got a gun and they're shooting everybody.
Well, that's a serious red flag. But if they're drawing everyone in the family but you.
Sometimes it doesn't have to be that deep. Sometimes I'll ask a kid to draw a picture of their family, right? And dad is on one side, mom is on the other side. Grandmother may be the biggest person on the sheet, or somebody might be in the home versus outside. If everybody is outside on the porch in the drawing and then somebody is inside, that can tell you a lot. That can get the conversation started about, why is grandma so big? Is she the more significant person or the caretaker? Is mom and dad on opposite sides of the paper because they're feuding or they're separated? So you can get a lot just from a drawing.
So in talking about that, as far as like the family aspect of it and art in general, do you feel like, and some people may think, well, I can't draw, I can't do this, I can't do that. Kids may have that kind of low confidence as well as adults, especially when they come to like an event, you know, where they're sipping and, you know, and drawing or whatever. They say, well, I can't do it. I don't know how to stroke it. I don't know how to draw. I don't have an artistic bone in my body. What would you say to those types of people?
Well, with the paint and sip, that's more recreational, but when I do it inside of the therapy portion, I ask them to kind of draw on the canvas, but if they are unable to, I'll even give them like a makeup of like a dog or a kitten where they're able to have it kind of mapped out. Because if you can color in a coloring book, you can paint on a canvas that's already pre-sketched. But then you take a look at the colors that they're using. For example, I had a kid to use black, and I asked him, hey, why are you using black? What does black represent for you? And he said, well, it makes me think about me being angry. And I said, well, why black? Because I'm thinking about red or fire. He said, because when I get angry, I black out. And I was like, wow, I never thought about that. But you can get a lot from color association and the picture as well.
So we definitely appreciate that background. Definitely check out Chimere Neal Canvas Dolls. Neal Counseling Services, absolutely, for individual, family, group, all of that. You know, we all work together, so definitely look her up for sure. But we definitely want to get into the topic of discussion. And we're going to be talking more so about nature versus nurture. That's kind of an interesting topic. In regards to it, because we're talking about art therapy and children and things like that, and identifying talents and special skills that your child may possess. Jackie,
the definition.
Flow into that. Yeah.
Let me give. I'm ready over here to talk. Okay, let's got my shoulder out and everything. Okay, feel a little breeze over here.
So let's just define nature versus nurture. Differences in intellectual ability are the product of social inequalities in access to material resources and opportunities. So we've all kind of heard the talking about, let's start with like SATs and ACT scores, and how where you grow up environmentally may affect your scores depending on what questions are asked. Haven't you heard that before?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Have you not heard this? There was a big thing years ago, probably more than 10 years ago, about there being question asked on certain standardized tests about yellow bananas, like what color is the banana? That was the biggest thing. I heard that in the news. What color is a banana? There was yellow, there was brown, and there were 2 other colors. Mm-hmm. And the statistic was there were kids in lower economic communities chose brown, mm-hmm. right? Because they're getting less fresh vegetables and fruits.
Right.
And so the question became,
culturally biased.
Yes,
right.
And culturally biased, and then intellectual ability, affected by social norms or things happening in the environment, environmental causes.
You know me, I'll be a devil's advocate, and like if it's brown, it's still a banana. So I mean, that's their truth, right?
Yes, but you are not grading the standardized test.
Right, and who is?
The white
We're
people.
going to a whole...
Well, no, that's what, I'm sorry, but that's what it was about.
Yeah.
And there was a big thing with, it was almost like communities were battling over this, the thing is that mostly Caucasians make up those tests. And so the parents felt they're not taking into consideration the children, other children who also have to take it, which are black kids, Mexican kids, and minorities. Okay, so I'm just
talking about all standardized tests. We're talking about EOGs, those EOGs that's coming up, standardized, SAT, ACT, all those different types of tests. Everything's culturally biased to me.
We look at everything that's browning is bad except a plantain.
Right.
Oh, it's good. That's what we're talking. I'm just saying, except a plantain.
But like a good banana, an actual ripe banana, is brown, not yellow. Look it up.
Guess I don't eat ripe bananas.
Me either.
Like we don't. It's not bad.
I have it with the freckles on it. I will eat it. But if it's
as soon as it turns brown, you get like a little brown circle. You're taking it off. You don't want to eat the brown.
Damn banana.
You don't want to eat the brown.
Then ship.
It's soft and mushy.
Don't you
and
have
stuff.
me no brown banana? I know. Anyway, moving right along.
But I mean, the question with nature versus nurture. My first question is, are the gifts and the talents passed down from kids as far as like singing abilities, artistic abilities, or can they be nurtured over time? Or can they be developed over time? What's your thoughts, Chimere? Do you think it's a combination of both, or do you think it's individualized?
I think it's a combination of both. Of course, as a therapist, you're taught about observational learning. Mm-hmm. So basically, you learn from observation. Right. So I think that kids can kind of pick up on things that their parents do or someone in their family or role model that they have and kind of mimic that behavior.
Right.
And it can be seen as a talent. And I also think that some kids are not afforded to see certain gifts. And then they kind of explore outside of their community. Like they want to learn. Or, like you said, sometimes the TV can influence kids. And then they can show that they do have talents or pick up certain things.
So it's definitely more of a social, or I guess a social construct, however you want to say it, or environmental type of thing. So based on the availability of that particular resource that family may have, may determine what they're talented in or what they're skilled in.
Yes, I think so. I think it can be possible.
So we may have some great like soccer players out there, but because they grew up in the hood and they don't play soccer, they don't have access to a soccer field, and they might not ever get that chance to become the next great soccer player.
I think that that's possible. For me, I don't know how to swim, and a lot of people look at me like, how do you not know?
Most black people don't.
Right, but a lot do.
I think it's about what does it mean knowing how to swim. What does that mean to you? Does that mean not breathing underwater and then getting from one end to the next, or does it mean having form? Okay.
I don't know how to do anything. I stand in water, and I think that's because. No, I try not to. But I'm taking swimming lessons this summer.
Oh, good.
Stay off the cruise ships.
But as a child, I didn't have access to a pool. I didn't have access to that. So in daycare, they took you once a week kind of to do that, and I was able to do that as a child. But after that, I didn't have anywhere else to practice that skill. So sometimes I feel like you can lose it as well.
Absolutely. Jack, what you think? Nature versus nurture. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I was exposed to a lot of things as a kid, and so I feel like parents should expose kids to a variety of things to see where their niche will lie. I feel and I believe that a lot of children, no matter what community they come from, are very talented, but talent is, I believe, an innate thing that is nurtured. You don't even know what it is till it's discovered, and you don't know that till you have exposure. So I think that's what I was saying before the show about what I believe as far as introducing different things. Like, I was thrown into gymnastics when I was 5. I probably didn't do that for more than 6 months, but I think it was enough for them to put me in other things and say, what does she like more? What is she drifting to? There was baseball, gymnastics, and basketball at the YMCA. I liked once a week basketball. I stuck with that till I was 14. I also played baseball during that season. I stuck with that from 5, t-ball, to 14. Those were things I stuck with. I wasn't playing soccer like the rest of the girls that I knew. The rest of the black girls that I knew were playing soccer, volleyball, and like softball. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I was playing baseball. And I was pitching, and that's something I'd like to do. But I'm glad that different things were put in front of me. And I can't look back and say, I wish I had continued gymnastics because they gave me the opportunity to do that. Or I wish I had been better with cartwheeling. No, they gave me a chance. I did not choose that. So I feel good knowing that. I haven't put a lot of extracurriculars in front of my son, but there are different things he's good at. So we just encourage him by building up his talent. You know you're good at puzzles. This is what you're good at. And we continue to encourage. He'll find other things later. But, you know, for now, that's what we encourage.
And I think what Chimere said as far as like observational learning as a parent, you have to kind of look at what your child is into and kind of go from there. But I think the downside to that, as far as parents, a lot of parents tend to live vicariously through their children. If I had hoop dreams and I got a son and he's, you know, somewhat taller, he has a little bit of skill in basketball, but that's not his interest. He's just naturally gifted with it, and he's not necessarily interested in it. I may force my own bias on him, which will ultimately cause him to resent me and all these other things, because that's not something that he wants to do. So I think we was having a discussion about parents allowing the child to make decisions on quitting or continuing or doing something totally different. And I think you had a thought on that. What's your thought on that?
Well, my thought on it, I want to first say you have to know your child and then deal with the child, I guess, individually before I would say don't allow them to quit. My child is more emotional. So I know as soon, you know, there are kids, their confidence is hurt easily, right? So my son, my son can do 400-piece puzzles. So because he can do that, and we've built him up so high with that, when he gets in front of a soccer ball and he kicks it the wrong way or not hard enough, he gets discouraged immediately. And so with that, I would not allow him to stop when he starts moaning about it. This is a confidence moment. You will not be good at everything. Your friends will be better than you at soccer for now, until you decide you want to put time into it. I'd rather go inside and do a puzzle. Okay, well then you know you won't be good at soccer. But I use that as those are moments.
If that's something that he wishes to obtain,
then I will help him get in front of that. And I will put soccer goals in the backyard. But my son, and I'm trying to get him out of that. I think we're complacent sometimes as aunties, uncles, parents, whatever, and we kind of want to appease the child's self-esteem. But I'm not trying to appease my son's self-esteem. If he's not good at something, I say, yeah, you are kind of not so good at that. I don't say bad, but I don't say you're something, but I say, well, baby, that's not the goal. And you kicked it in. That's my goal. And so you know, I try to do it in a loving way, but I'm not going to fluff it any other way. You're not as good at this as you are at puzzles, but I have to work at things too.
And that, another thing, I think something that just popped up in my head that I really have a distaste for is when you're in like a competitive type of environment, and at the end of it, everybody gets the same thing. The same award, sticker, ribbon, trophy, everybody gets it, whether you win or lost. I don't like that. Because I think it breeds false expectations that I could lose something or not be as great as the next person and still get the same benefit. I don't like that. That's part of that nurturing part that I just really don't have a care for. If you're second, you're second. I'm like, whatchamacallit? What's the guy? If you're not first, you're last. I'm that type of dad. If you're not winning, you're losing.
I'm like, if he's losing, I'm like, that's okay. You're in 8th place. You tried.
No.
Yeah, I am. Okay. I met another dad like you, and I was flabbergasted. I was at a funeral, and it was in the after, you know, the room, you know, Baptist church. I was in the aftercare room. But you know, all the women in the church with the gloves on want to serve everybody mashed potatoes at Christmas dinner. Okay, at the repass. Yeah, that. And so a guy at the table, nice friendly conversation, and his daughter came over with something. I said, she looks so smart. And he said, she is. First place always counts. Isn't that right, baby? And I said, were you in the military? And he said, yes. And I said, are you serious? And he goes, oh yeah. First place is the only one that matters. And I said, you want to talk about this? And he was like, okay, sure. I'm just going to stand firm on what I say. I said, no. My son is in 12th place. 12th place now? I've got a handmade trophy. I have ordered one online that looks like everyone else's. I would probably.
Parents. See,
I wouldn't say,
it's not going to push them
you didn't do well enough
to get better if they're getting the same thing all the way across the board.
Okay. I'll think about it. But for now, Karanga knew no wrong.
I mean, I think
8th place is just as good as first.
I'm extreme a little bit in that, but I mean, I understand what you're saying to kind of breed some confidence.
I'm trying to encourage the trying and not giving up. Then next time, if you're 8th this time, you'll be 4th next time.
You get the sticker, not a trophy.
I give stickers for everything. You know, at my son's school, they have something called Caught with Character, and I love it. They choose a different character element every month to focus on with the children. And so today my son called me and he said, guess what happened at school? I got caught with character. And I said, well, what did you do? He said, such and such fell on the concrete and I helped her get up. And I said, and he's very proud, whether it's respect or diligence or courage or helping. He's very interested in being rewarded for that. He likes the element of being caught with character. You know, I helped somebody acknowledge. I mean, all kids like to be acknowledged, though.
Right.
And so that is a way of character building, rewarding positive reinforcement. And so I like that he comes home talking about, I was caught with character. I helped somebody. I told somebody, I know my baby, put him on the spotlight. You shining, baby. You're not first in soccer, but you got caught with character.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Hey, character is important.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
So how do we decide what talents, what skills to kind of, I guess, maybe nurture in your child? If they're talented in a lot of different things, or they have different skills that you kind of notice, how do you kind of nurture or decide which ones to nurture over time? That might be a difficult one.
That's a hard question. But I think you should pay attention to what your children are into, and then give them access to explore it more. So if they're into soccer, then you may want to explore that. And not only that, have a conversation with your kids about what they like, what they want to pinpoint. They may want to do 10 things, but for example, this summer, we're going to pick 3.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this.
Because it does get expensive.
Right. And then maybe next summer, you can do the other 3, and so on and so forth. So kind of having that conversation, because when you say the words, how do we pick? Sometimes I don't think we pick. I think the children need to pick, because they have the feeling. They are the ones that are participating in the activity.
Absolutely. Jack, what you think?
I agree.
She agrees.
Somebody was texting me about my baby.
So
last part of that.
So I guess the second part of that would be, as to when they start to get a little bit more advanced, or let's say they started like a 7-year-old type of group, and then they go to the 8-year-olds, and it's a total different
different feel.
Different feel. They're not like the head honcho anymore. You know, that type of thing. How do parents help? No, see, it's a difference, because if they have a love for it and they have a huge interest, but it's becoming a little bit more difficult for them because the competition level has increased, then no, I'm not going to allow you to quit. There's going to be some perseverance, some character building within that. Now, after that, once we go through that and you feel like, okay, this is just not for me. I thought I liked it, and it had a season, but no.
Let me say,
I don't think I want to get tackled by big boy that's 12 years old, and I'm 10, and he's like 200 pounds, and I'm like 90.
You know I have a childhood story about this. God, I love my parents. Okay, so basically, they let me quit high school basketball. They let me quit. I mean, they never stood in the way of us quitting. When we got home, you know how it is when you're in high school. You tell your parents you quit, what are they going to do? They can't call the principal and get you back into a sport. If you quit, you quit. When you're younger, it's different because they pick you up and drop you off, right? So in high school, let's just say, for those that played YBA basketball in Chicago, you know who you are. You watch the show, okay? We played from 5 years old to 14. So I was one of the only girls when all that started, right? You know, we're talking about early 80s. So I shined as one of the only girls. So I was just like, all right, I shine when I'm there. I got my ponytail, and I'm playing ball, and I'm cute, and it's fun, and the boys are cute. So that went from like 5 or 6 years old, like, oh, he's so sweet, to when I got older, and I was like, yeah, I like doing it. Boys are cuter. You're a teenager. My parents didn't realize the shift in me really wanting to do it. There was a shift happening emotionally, which was I want to show up to practice so I can see certain people. So I had crushes on certain people. Well, you know, as you get older, your hormones and things like that. So I liked basketball still. So when I got to high school, I went from going to a private school where there's majority white kids there to going to a public inner city high school where I was like, I always play ball, so I'm gonna play ball. So I got on the court. I got into practice. I made the team. Okay, made in the team. Felt like, okay, you can't. All right. So I went from private school to public school. I made the team. So I'm a starting point guard. So I start playing, and I realized, holy shit, this is a whole nother. These girls are rough. Most of them are doing this when they go home. They're eating, sleeping. Basketball. I wasn't taking it seriously enough. I may have been on the team 1 year. We also practiced with the boys, and there was a boy that I liked on the boys' team. You know who you are. Anyway, I'm just being honest, that swayed me. So when I got ready to quit, it wasn't that I had a loss of a love for basketball. It was that I realized I was in a different league. They were on something different than me. I need to go shine somewhere else. I can't shine with the public school.
So because you wasn't shining.
Well, that was what I was dealing with at the time. I already had lower self-esteem in high school. I was trying to find my place. Okay? I was a funny girl, but I didn't think I was a cute girl. A lot of us have struggled with different things like that. A lot of guys drift to sports because they're trying to find confidence in what they can do well on the field. Just honestly, I struggled a lot, and I was quiet, believe it or not. More quiet, not too quiet in high school. More quiet because I was I was lacking self-esteem. So, yes, I found that I wasn't reaching the potential that I shined at before. It wasn't about outshining other people. I wasn't at the potential I was around the other group that I grew up in. And, YMCA basketball is we're just having fun mostly. High school is more competitive.
So it's more so that you had the talent, but you didn't nurture your talent.
I didn't nurture my talent, and I wasn't pushed, okay? I didn't have parents. They were working all the time, but they were there for me, but they weren't pushing me. You have to stick with it. I think they were happy I stuck with something. I stuck with volleyball, tennis. I stuck with those things, so they were fine with that. And I'm in agreement with that. If your kids have something passionate that they're passionate about, your job is to foster the passion. Okay, I agree with that. And then if they need to quit something later, that's just not their forte.
But I wouldn't say like as soon as they fail like the first time, no, I quit because I failed. No,
I get into we're not a quitter speeches. We don't quit, do we? No, Mom. Okay, we just come in 12. We don't quit.
Winners get wings. Only winners get wings.
But you can still get a participation award. Caught with character.
Yay, Boogie!
He asked me everything. Caught with character certificates all over the crib.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a picture. And I'm gonna post it on the couch page. I'm gonna take a picture. What I have affirmations that have been on his wall for a few years.
Yeah.
And I made a background to it. They have like Ninja Turtle stickers next to him. It's whatever way so he can learn them. And there are 5 things that he has to say in his own time every morning when he gets up. And I am smart, I will focus today, I'm a good listener, I will be kind to my friends, things like that. Mm-hmm. And he started putting the Caught with Character stickers that he accumulates on that. Yeah. So there are like 15, 20 stickers all around the border. And he's proud. I see that he's proud, but I did not encourage him to keep those stickers. They put them on the kid, so when you pick your kid up, you see that big yellow sticker, and I'm like, oh, what'd you do today? He's like, I was a good listener. Yes. So proud.
Caught with Character.
We don't need trophies. We got Caught with Character.
Okay. We're at time pretty much.
So again, you said all that to say what?
She was Caught with Character.
Oh, I'm just shining the light on my son again.
Right. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it's okay to encourage them to stop when they're really ready to stop. I'm not going to make any bland statements and blanket statements about it's wrong to encourage your kids to quit. If they say, hey, I'm not feeling this anymore, I think you watch your kids over time and you say, she's been slacking for weeks with this. She's not as encouraged to go to practice. She doesn't look like she feels good about it.
Right.
I think that's when you stop.
Right.
When my little brother told my parents after one season, no more baseball, they realized he's not the baseball kid. Jackie is the baseball kid. Her older brother is the baseball kid, but the younger brother is not.
Right.
Sorry, but my younger brother did other things that weren't, necessarily, they weren't conventional things that I wanted to do. But with roles in the house, we didn't have typical, the boy takes out the trash. I found myself taking out my trash, and I found my brother helping to cook some of the meals. He was into cooking. It was like, that was something that's fostered. Even now I call him for recipes. Yeah. So they saw that and was like, okay, he doesn't need baseball. He got something else. Right. So,
so
he knew
foster those skills and talents. If your son like to cook, grilled cheese sandwiches at 7.
Bake oven.
Yeah. Foster that. I don't know about easy
Okay, let me say
oven,
something. I bought my son a kitchen when he was little. His father had a fit. No, he had a kitchen. It was a brown and tan kitchen. Okay, they had like girly type kitchens and a brown and tan kitchen. But my thing was, he liked that. And it was play food. If you eat play food, you can cook play food. And if you're going to live by yourself, you can't be ordering pizza every day. So I was fully behind that. When his father found out I had a kitchen
like,
Jackie, in the house. You bought him a kitchen, you're encouraging. And it was like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was like, pew, 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 just firing the shots off. And I was like, look.
Now, did he come to you and say, Mom, I like to cook or something?
Well, he was always begging for play food when we were in the store. Mom, hamburger, Mom. I mean, I'm sorry, but kids under 4 years old don't see that as gender-specific role. Right. Yeah, if Daddy makes the food because Mom's at work late, why is it not okay for my son to pretend he's cooking and making a hamburger? Yeah. Right. I didn't see it as that strong, but of course, after about 2 years, it was like, time to give this away, son. I mean, I stepped right in with, all right. Yeah. That's not really the gender role.
I necessarily want you to play anymore.
We're definitely going to talk about gender roles.
I didn't buy him a vacuum. For the little girls, they got not for the little girls, I'll say that. They got the toy vacuums in different colors now, like blue, brown, black.
No.
Buy my son no toy vacuum.
No.
I stuck in hamburgers.
He-Mans and baseball
Melissa
bats
and Doug. Plastic food.
Yeah. Ain't doing none of that. Okay.
Anyway.
Yo, we have some fun here on the couch today. Again, you guys, make sure you guys are nurturing your kids and their special talents. Everyone is talented. They may not be talented at what you want them to be talented with, but they do have a talent. God blessed us all with some type of talent. And it's up to us to discover what that is, nurture that and make it blossom and make it do what it do. That's closing. In closing, what we got? We're about to wrap this up. What you got, Jackie? No more stickers.
I was about to start singing and I couldn't think of a song.
No stickers.
What do you mean no stickers?
You're not talking about stickers anymore. No more stickers. Just post it.
I'm gonna post. Look, don't be trying to ride my baby now.
I'm not
characters major thing. Come on,
I'm not riding your baby.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to the audience because
right
I'm
now.
starting to get passionate.
some of y'all need to be character building.
Yeah,
some of y'all need to order some Caught with Characters stickers for your kids so they feel applauded on a daily basis. I'm feeling judged right now, so that's where my head moving is coming from. Okay? Some of y'all need to do that. Some of y'all need to be on the sideline telling your kid, even though they didn't make it, it'll be okay. They will make it next time. And I've seen a lot of parents not do that. They do the opposite. And I feel bad for those kids because they break down in front of the other kids and they feel like they're not getting something that the other kids are getting. Now, my father didn't applaud my last place, but he asked me, do you know what you have to do next time? Do you know? And so he helped to kind of foster the skill building, but I didn't feel condemned. I got the reward dinner even after I failed. Right. And I think that's still important for showing your kids support. It's a mattress. It's a support mattress to fall on.
Like you said, participation.
Participation award.
You get a participation award, but we all know that you need to do a little bit more work.
Oh, our first comment.
And I'm going to push it.
Oh, I love you too. Yay for 12th place! All you moms out there that are awarding 12th place, I appreciate you. I respect you. You're just doing what you think you have to do. And for the fathers who think that it's correct to only reward first place, and then their last, I didn't even want to repeat it. It's like stifling. I hear fathers saying that, and I'm like, I'll stop anybody in public, I swear, and be like, you don't really believe that, do you? Oh, yes, I do, wholeheartedly. Oh, okay. Where's your wife?
But again, you guys, we're going to wrap this up because
oh, Damien's wrapping us up now. Because I'm long-winded. Ain't that a...
Jackie, you are.
For our weekly visitors.
You are.
Okay. All right, Damian. This is getting
personal.
Chimere, thank you for... Okay.
You can say it.
Chimere, thank you for...
You can say it. You can... Thank you, Chimere.
So, we're still here.
But we love her.
Yeah, it's all love. There's no hate.
The love coming from one person genuinely. And it's not really genuine with the laughing faces, so I'm not really sure.
She was just putting a little bit of spice on it.
That's okay. And everything nice. Okay, we're done.
Again, you guys, we want to thank Chimere Neal for popping in and chilling with us on the couch.
Canvas doll.
Yes.
Canvas dolls. Go ahead and let everyone know where they can find you at Chimere, Canvas Dolls, Neal Counseling, all that
Canvas
stuff.
Dolls TNP on Instagram. Go ahead.
So for the therapy portion is Neal Counseling, and you can find that on Instagram and at www.nealcounselingservices.com. As far as the recreation and social piece, it's Canvas Dolls, and that's on Instagram, and then Canvas Dolls TNP is on Facebook, and also Think and Paint is on Instagram and Facebook. That's Think, the letter N, Paint.
She's better at running down information than we are. I just tap back into Think and Paint. Well, we're not currently employed ourselves.
Oh. Well,
you are sadly mistaken.
I can do some volunteer work.
The intensity of being uninformed is strong around here. As you see by our unironed sign, which is still delightful in color, that we are not employed. We are not making money off this. The intention is for it to grow into something lucrative for the community and for us to use this avenue to do that. But, oh yes, let me make that announcement. Okay, so Dame's nominated for his situation with, what is it, mental health. What is it?
It is Mental Health Awareness Month, you guys. We've been talking about that since the first of the month, our first episode of season 3. Okay. So all month, May, Mental Health Awareness Month. And this weekend coming up, we're having 2 events through Nuture Inc., and that's the Mental Health Awareness Walk. Again, that's at MLK Middle. I think it starts at 9, if I'm not mistaken. Then also that evening, starting at 8 o'clock, from 8 to 12, we're going to have an awesome time with mental health. 8 to 2?
I thought it said 8 to 2.
I could be wrong.
I think it's 8 to 2 a.m.
8 to 2.
Starts
hey,
at 8.
we're going
I think it's a party after 10.
Yeah, it's a party.
I wanted to announce the Spotlight Tuesday event that is occurring at the Dunavant, and that is 2322 Dunavant Street, Suite 200. And I think it's a restaurant, and I will be the Spotlight mental health clinician for mental health awareness. I can never just let him do the side effects. always have to jump on. But for Mental Health Awareness Month, I will be the spotlight clinician, so I'm really happy about that. I appreciate the platform of the show kind of pushing me into that light. You know how it is when you've been doing this for so many years,
right.
And then it's always nice just to see, you know, the light that has come from all the effort that you put into something you care about. But that event is Tuesday night from 6 to 9, so come check it out. It is a networking event. I will assume, all right, that my co-host will be there.
I'm going to be there.
May 21st, and that I know Chimere will be there.
Definitely.
It depends on the day, because I'm also a dad as well. So, I have to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
we'll make it happen.
Okay, yeah.
We'll
Try. Okay.
Yes.
I appreciate that. So, yeah, May 21st, Tuesday night from 6 to 9 at the Dune event. Okay, Suite 200.
We'll definitely post all this on
the
page for sure, so you guys can know the locations and times and all that good stuff. So, again, I think upcoming in the next couple of weeks, we're still working on the Couch Live. We got a location, we got a tentative date. So, come on out. You know, our Couch Live, that we're gonna have an audience, we're gonna have some good times, food,
It looks nice. It looks really nice with a patio and like nice bar and everything.
Really good.
Yeah, interesting.
So,
okay.
Hey, what's up, sis? She chiming in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, boo. Oh, you see is Damion, huh?
Yeah.
That's okay.
No,
That's okay. That's okay. She's loyal.
She doesn't spell my name the appropriate way.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It is what it is. But again, you guys, thank you guys for
and we're done.
For coming on today. I appreciate Chimere. We appreciate Chimere and Jackie with all her antics right about now.
Thank you.
I don't even know what that is. Is that the high cheeks? I don't know what that is. But anyway, you guys.
The share cheeks.
I enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next week
with Dr. Jasper.
Dr. Jasper will be in the building for sure.
He'll be back.
That's another one of our family.
Yes.
You know, it's what, third time?
Is it the third time he's been here?
Yeah,
I think the third time he will have been here. Yeah. You know, it's always a good time.
Every season. So,
okay.
So we're going to have a good time with that. But, of course, you guys, we're definitely going to air Sunday, 12 p.m.
Yeah, I called you out. I sure did. Damn right I did. She's like, dang, Jackie. Okay, so anyway.
That's what she says.
Yeah, I know. I see how she's saying it. I read it that way. Dang, Jackie. You sound like Martin getting on Tommy. Oh, Cole.
Dang, Gina.
Damn it, Cole.
Hilarious.
But anyway, did you enjoy yourself?
I did. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I really
Anytime. We're going to bring you back.
We're glad to have you.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to do an all-female joint. We're going to let y'all females have a whole episode by yourself.
Oh, that would be great.
Yes. Absolutely.
What about us interviewing the men?
Yeah. We're going to do all
I'm
that.
still singing to again. What were you
Women
saying?
versus men. Like,
what about women versus
men?
men?
Us interviewing the guys.
Interviewing them about?
A hot topic.
Okay. Do you go to therapy, Damion?
Yes, I do.
I'm starting tomorrow.
Not often.
I'm starting tomorrow. I'm excited.
Get it in.
I'm gonna have to.
Purge those emotions.
I need to.
Reduce that anxiety.
And my new therapist watches this show, I think.
Uh-oh.
Get ready for me.
She's a handful.
Jesus. Time to go. Turn the
A
thing
lot.
off. All right, turn the thing off.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We'll see y'all next week. Peace. Take it easy. What is it? Your mental health matters.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Can we